A blessed Monday to all. I am Nicole from Holy Trinity Community Davao and welcome to Pathways of Hope. Our gospel today is taken from the Gospel of Mark. Jesus restores a demon possessed man. Let's listen to the gospel. They came to the other side of the lake, to the country of the Gerasenes. And when he had stepped out of the boat, immediately a man out of the tombs with an unclean spirit met him. He lived among the tombs, and no one could restrain him any more, even with a chain. For he had often been restrained with shackles and chains, but the chains he wrenched apart, and the shackles he broke in pieces, and no one had the strength to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and on the mountains, he was always howling and bruising himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and bowed down before him, and he shouted at the top of his voice, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you, by God, do not torment me." For he had said to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." He begged him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now there are on the hillside a great herd of swine was feeding, and the unclean spirits begged him, "Send us into the swine, let us enter them." So he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the swine. And the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned in the lake. The swineherds ran off and told it in the city and in the country. Then people came to see what it was, what had happened. They came to Jesus and saw the demoniac sitting there, clothed and in his right mind, the very man who had the legion, and they were afraid. Those who had seen what had happened to the demoniac and to the swine reported it. Then they began to beg Jesus to leave their neighborhood. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed by the demons begged him that he might be with him. But Jesus refused and said to him, "Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and what mercy he has shown you." And he went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone was amazed. The Gospel of our salvation. When Jesus visited the region of the Gerasenes, immediately a man from the tombs met him. For the Jews, tombs were an unclean place. They were not allowed to touch bodies with people there. This possessed man met Jesus as soon as Jesus got out of the boat, as if he knew Jesus was coming. In fact, the demons probably tried to stop Jesus from coming. In the preceding chapter of chapter 4 of Mark, Jesus said not he wanted to go to the other side of the lake. So, and as they set sail, their boat almost sank when out of nowhere a violent wind caused a storm. The disciples asked for help from Jesus, and Jesus by his power rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. Surely these demons were sent to oppose Jesus' work and cause disturbances and problems in hopes of preventing Jesus' message from reaching the people in Gerasenes. Let me share with you some of my reflection today. First, Satan is real. The world is Satan's playground. He is the prince of this world, the father of lies. He will use the good things in this world to lure and trap us, to tempt us, feeding our pride, our greed, our lust, our flesh. In effect, we try to ignore Jesus and his teachings on discipline, self-control, purity, righteousness, and goodness. Jesus becomes irrelevant to us. He is controlling our freedom and happiness, eventually separating us from him and become obsessed with this world. Satan then traps us and puts us in bondage of sin. In the gospel, we can see what the demon can do to us. The possessed man is locked in chains. He has no freedom, no peace, no joy. He tried to escape and break the chains but can never be freed from the bondage of sin the demon has placed him into. People reject him, calls him unclean, and will never relate to him. This man was possessed or oppressed or controlled by several unclean spirits. His condition sounds like addiction or a self-harm, mental illness of today. The Bible says the man was crying, cutting himself with stone as a result of the influence of the unclean spirits. He is fortunate that Jesus came to free him, which leads me to my second reflection. God's love conquers all. When the man did muster up enough strength to run to Jesus for help, he was in extreme bondage and probably hopeless. But when he saw Jesus, he got a glimpse of hope and he desperately ran to him. The last-ditch effort for help that he made paid off. Jesus freed him from the spiritual bondage that was controlling his life and sent the demons to a herd of swine where it fell over the cliff and drowned. Christ's love for us is unconditional. This man was dead to the extent that his life already belongs to Satan in the tombs. But when we call on him and ask for his mercy and forgiveness, the Lord will take us back with open arms, making us a new creation. The old is gone as we look forward to new life with him. And what do we do with this life? We give thanks to God and proclaim him. In verse 18, the healed man wanted to go with Jesus on his journey, but the Lord had bigger plans for him. He told the man to go back to his home and to his friends, those people who had seen him during his worst condition, and tell them how the Lord has changed his life. In fact, Jesus told him to tell them how great things the Lord has done for thee and has had compassion on thee. Friends, brothers and sisters, let these words be a command for us by the Lord. As people healed, saved, and loved by the Lord, let us always give thanks and proclaim what he has done in our lives. Let our lives be a testimony of God's goodness. God bless you all.